hit block. Just like that, the people who gave you life are erased from it. Society calls you cold, unforgiving and ungrateful. But what they don't see is the psychological survival happening beneath the surface. So why do millions make the excruciating choice to walk away from their own blood, knowing the devastating emotional fallout that comes next? We are witnessing a silent epidemic of family estrangement, unlike anything seen in previous generations. This isn't about petty arguments or typical generational divides. Right now, a massive cultural shift is forcing individuals to choose between enduring toxic loyalty or facing a crushing, fundamentally misunderstood isolation. The stakes are absolute, sacrificing everything you've ever known just to protect your own mind.
We just don't understand why you keep doing this to us.
You need to get your life together, Alex. We can't keep bailing.
It is so wonderful to see everyone together again.
Society conditions us from birth to believe that family is the ultimate safety net. We are constantly fed adages like, blood is thicker than water, and told that no matter the conflict, family is forever. From the outside looking in, the common assumption is that anyone who walks away from their parents or siblings must be cold, ungrateful, or just holding a stubborn grudge over a trivial misunderstanding. We expect them to simply forgive, forget, and show up for the holidays. But when you strip away these societal guilt trips and examine the actual mechanics of estrangement, the reality reveals a much darker, far more complex truth. Cutting ties is rarely a sudden impulse. The unspoken truth is that estrangement isn't an act of aggression. It is a desperate measure of psychological survival. While onlookers see a dramatic, unprovoked exit, they completely miss the decades of exhausting internal negotiations. They don't see the thousands of unacknowledged second chances, the chronic boundary violations, or the heavy toll of surviving a permanently rigged game. By the time someone officially goes no contact, the relationship hasn't just broken down, it has been dead for years. The final departure isn't the murder of a family bond, it's simply the autopsy. But here is the terrifying paradox almost no one talks about. We assume that finally cutting the cord brings instant peace, a cinematic moment of ultimate liberation. We picture a survivor confidently walking away from the wreckage, finally free to heal. The brutal reality: the silence of no contact is absolutely deafening. Walking away doesn't magically erase the trauma, it amputates a limb, and the phantom pain is immediate. You aren't just escaping toxic dynamics, you are violently grieving the family you desperately deserved but never had. Suddenly, the battle isn't with an abusive parent or a manipulative sibling anymore. The war moves entirely inside your own head. Guilt spirals, self-doubt amplifies. Society's relentless judgment corners you, leaving you alone in the dark to face one devastating lingering question. What if I really am the monster they say I am? This is exactly where mainstream advice completely fails you. Traditional self-help and well-meaning friends will quickly hand you the standard prescription for that guilt. Just forgive to find closure. They preach that holding on to anger is toxic, pushing you to seek mediation, communicate your feelings, and find a middle ground so you can be the bigger person. But here is the fatal flaw in that conventional roadmap. It assumes the other side is actually capable of empathy. Demanding a survivor compromise with an emotional abuser doesn't cure the poison. It just forces them to keep drinking it so society doesn't have to feel uncomfortable looking at a broken family. The breakthrough isn't learning how to politely fix the unfixable. It is the radical realization that keeping the door open isn't a sign of emotional maturity. It is active self-sabotage. Real healing doesn't demand mutual understanding or a beautifully tied-up reconciliation story. It demands the absolute unapologetic permission to let the bridge burn. Do you surrender, returning to the emotional slaughterhouse just to clear your name? Or do you make peace with being the villain in their narrative? The ultimate catharsis arrives the exact moment you choose the latter. You simply stop fighting the smear campaign. You release the desperate need to be understood by a society that romantically prioritizes biology over psychological safety. Let them call you cold. Let them call you unforgiving and ungrateful. You finally realize that this societal judgment is no longer a weapon used against you. It is the receipt for your freedom. This is the profound answer to why millions make the excruciating choice to erase their own blood from their lives. They discover that permanent estrangement is never an act of hate. It is the highest, most rigorous form of self-love. Blood may be thicker than water, but peace is infinitely heavier than guilt. You're not a monster, and you didn't break the family. You broke the cycle. Walking into that uncharted territory can feel terrifying, but it is the very first time you're actually walking forward. Your life is no longer a trauma response to their dysfunction. It is finally a blank canvas, entirely yours to build with the chosen family, the unwavering boundaries, and the profound quiet you fought so brutally to secure. You survived the storm. Now, you get to live in the sanctuary. If this video validated the heavy truth you have been silently carrying for years, know that you do not have to carry it alone anymore. Hit subscribe to keep armoring yourself with the psychological tools you need to heal, and share your experience in the comments below. Let your survival story be the exact validation someone else desperately needs right now to realize that there is a beautiful, peaceful life waiting on the other side of goodbye.